Have you ever heard things like, oh, you need to be born with a great voice in order to sing well, or you need to have talent to be a great singer, like all these things that we hear all the time? Well, in this episode, I'm debunking some of the most common false facts about singing that everyone actually tends to believe, but that are just not true. And I'll tell you exactly why. Let's dive into it. Hi, my name is Maggie. I'm the founder of the Singing Insiders, in which I help passionate singers just like yourself become the best versions of themselves through singing. And in these episodes, you're going to get a mix of technical exercises, insights, tools, techniques around singing to really help you up-level your singing skills. So these false facts, I call them, are so common when I talk to singers, when I talk to aspiring singers, or even singers that have been at it for quite some time. And holding on to one of those false facts can actually hold you back to make progress within your singing journey. And I don't want to have that for you. I really want you to have unlimited possibilities to develop your voice. So that's why this is an important episode, because we might mention one or two of these false facts that you might not even have realized, and that in turn will open it up to so many possibilities for you. So let's dive into it with the first one. False fact number one. This idea that you need talent in order to be a great singer. Now, I can talk about my own experience. I can talk about famous singers like Ed Sheeran. He shared about it in a talk show at some point. He shared a piece of him singing a song, and it sounded awful. And that was him that many years ago. And look at where he's at now. Same for me. I was not born as a beautiful singing talent. I remember my mom saying, "Oh, Maggie, it sounds horrible." So I wasn't born with this talent. I learned it. Singing is a skill that can be learned. Just like everyone can learn to write, as long as you have hands, I guess. Even some people even write with their mouths. So just like everyone can learn to write, that's how everyone can learn to sing. Because singing is just about making your vocal cords vibrate to produce sound, right? And then what kind of sounds do we want to produce? Well, higher sounds, lower sounds, and we need to train our vocal muscles that help elongate or shorten our vocal cords to produce those certain sounds. Does that make sense? So singing is all about the right type of vocal technique. The key word here is the right type. You can also practice the wrong way. And I've been there. I used to sing every day for 30 minutes and didn't notice any progress. Why? Because I was training the wrong part of my voice. So you need to obviously know what vocal technique fits your voice and then train that. That being said, that's the most important one. False fact number one, you do not need talent in order to be a great singer. You need the right type of vocal training. And having the right type of vocal training will actually help you surpass those that only rely on their talent. Because for them, it's a given. Yes, there are people that have maybe they're a bit more ahead in their singing journey than others. That's okay. But because they might have that so-called talent, they will not develop the consistency that is needed to train their voices, because for them it comes automatically. And you're better than that, okay? That was number one. False fact number two. Many singers, they believe that a little bit of hoarseness after singing is normal. Maybe you've sang for 2 hours at a performance, and then you feel a little bit of hoarseness and tension coming up. Or your voice feels a little bit tired and you're like, oh, that's normal because I just sang for 2 hours. Maybe you just had a choir rehearsal Your voice feels a little bit tired and you're like, oh, that's okay. It'll be over by tomorrow. No! Vocal tension, vocal fatigue, hoarseness is not normal. It is a sign from your body that tells you that you have done something that is not right. Maybe you have overdone it. Maybe you have pushed your voice. Maybe you have strained your voice. Maybe you have squeezed your voice. Maybe you were too loud. Maybe you were just singing without the proper breath support. Whatever it might be, the fact that you're feeling hoarse or tired means that you've done something wrong. And we need to look at that. We need to be aware of that. The moment I got aware of that and then adjusted accordingly is where everything changed. That is where I haven't been hoarse since at least, I want to say like 4 to 5 years. Just because I noticed those signs very early on and I adjusted. So if I feel any hoarseness or tiredness coming up, I stop and I think, okay, what am I doing wrong here? And then I'm diagnosing. Like a doctor, where could the problem be? Oh, is it my breath support? Oh, should I go into mixed voice? Like, what is it? That is gold when you can do that, because that will help you use your voice in a healthy way time and time and time again. And as you know, I don't need to tell you this, you only have one voice. It's not like a guitar where you can go to the guitar shop and buy a new one when your old guitar is broken. No, you only have one voice, so let's take care of it. Okay, so we had 1, you don't need talent, you need training. 2, hoarseness or vocal fatigue is not normal. It tells you something. If that for you has been super valuable so far, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel, because then you will be updated on new episodes just like this one coming out in the future. Now, the main things actually have to be still covered, so let's continue. False fact number 3. This idea that if you sing just like the original artist and using the same techniques as the original artist, then you're doing it well. In other words, and this is more for advanced singers that already have done some vocal technique work and they know about, breath support, they know about chest voice, head voice, mixed voice, they know about belting, they know about all those techniques. What those kinds of singers tend to do is listen to the original artist of whatever song that they're trying to sing and try and figure out what technique that person is using at that point in the song. Let me give you an example. Say that I want to sing Easy on Me by Adele. Go easy on me, babe. Okay, I'm listening to her sing and I notice, oh, she's using mixed voice. Go beautiful. I need to use mixed voice as well. Well, what if my voice fits better in chest voice? Go easy on me, babe. Oh, that feels nicer. Okay, I still have the same outcome. I'm singing the song how I want it to sound like and how I want it to feel like, but I'm not using the same vocal technique. And this is a very important topic to really understand, because vocal technique is there to help and support you, get you to a certain outcome. And the outcome is the same. Adele might use mixed voice. I might use chest voice. Christina Aguilera singing Adele might use, belting. Beyonce singing Adele might use, twang, for example, to get to the... So everyone uses their technique that fits their voice, because we're all unique snowflakes, to get to the same outcome. And many singers that have been working on vocal technique for a while, they're trying to figure out, what is that artist doing and can I do the same? Instead, we want to listen to, okay, how does it sound and what technique can get me to that sound. Maybe for Adele, that is twang, but for you, it might be bite or cry. Does that make sense? Now, the flip side of this, for beginner singers that have never done anything with vocal technique, they're most likely to put on a song and then just sing along, which is very fun. That's what we do in karaoke settings. Now, that's not the most efficient way to train your voice. So those types of singers, the more beginner singers, well, they need to first work on vocal technique to then be able to apply those vocal techniques within a particular song. I hope that makes sense. False fact number 4, which is the last one, is this idea that once you know how to use the right vocal techniques, you will be confident enough to share your singing with others, whether that's on stage, in a choir, at a karaoke event, whatever it is. Many singers, they say to me, Maggie, I'm gonna work on my vocal technique because when I really truly get that, then I'll be confident enough. And the funny thing is that usually it's the other way around. And I actually worked with a singer. She's been on the podcast before, Sophia, and she talks about that. And at some point she said, Maggie, you know what? I realized that you're right all along. But she said, it's interesting because I first had to do the inner work on that confidence before I could actually apply the techniques and be in my full power. So in her specific case, we were working on belting. So belting, if you know about that technique, it's a loud technique. I call it the healthy screaming. It is super loud, high diva notes, right? Lots of power. But Sophia, she was struggling with letting herself be heard. She was scared to be loud. She was scared to let her voice be loud. Now, how can you expect, if you are scared to be loud, how can you expect to even practice this technique called belting? Because something inside of you is holding you back. So we need to look at that first, and then the technique will follow. So once that she released that insecurity, that limiting belief around being loud is bad, she released that, that's when she could really truly implement belting in a healthy way. So it's not always the case that technique will lead to confidence. Confidence will lead to technique. Isn't that interesting? However, many singers, they think, oh no, I just need technique. And then I'll be confident. You'll notice that oftentimes it's the other way around. So our 4 false facts. 1, you don't need talent in order to be a great singer. You need the right type of training. 2, if you're hoarse after singing, if you're feeling any type of vocal fatigue, it's not normal. It's a sign that you're doing something wrong. 3, if the original artist is singing something using a specific vocal technique, we're not focused on the vocal technique. We're focused on the outcome. How can we get to that outcome? And then try out different entryways, different techniques to that specific outcome. And then number 4, technique will not lead to confidence. It's confidence that leads to implementing the technique in the right way, which again leads to confidence. Can you see how we're in an upward spiral at that point? Those are the 4 false facts that many singers tend to hold on to sometimes. And I really hope my intention with this episode is that if you recognize yourself in any or all of them, that you can let them go. And that will open you up to so many more beautiful possibilities. And I wish that for you. That truly is my wish. So, as you already know, I said it in number 1, training over talent, okay? One of the most important vocal techniques to really master is your mixed voice. And mixed voice will allow you to be able to sing high notes and low notes with lots of power, but without any tension or hoarseness. And I want to keep that conversation going, because once you let go of these things that you might have held on to that we covered today, then it's a matter of implementing that mixed voice technique. So I want to keep this conversation going. So I'm inviting you, once you've done listening to this episode, to go to that mixed voice episode. I will link to it in the description here down below and link the video right up after this one. So yeah, I will see you there to keep that conversation going. I'm looking forward to that. I want to say thank you for being here, for spending this time here today with me. And I'm looking forward to see you here again next week for the next episode. Bye.